Good evening, Mr. Cassius.
This is Kim Cassius for IFLTV. My voice has gone a little bit, Gareth, um, this week, but yeah, delighted to be joined by Gareth A. Davies. How are you, mate?
I'm not the lightweight that you are because my voice is still there. You came late. There's a lot of dust in Riyadh right now with the wind. Very
Oh,
rough.
did your lips go? Because my lips started getting really,
Yeah, by about day six they get dry, and I remember
yeah,
that I never carry chapstick with me because I don't normally get dry lips. But
I won't, but I was getting it there. Absolutely.
I'm
Um,
very well, thank you. I'm pleased to be home. Three weeks and a day in the Middle East. I'm glad to be home and got home and remembered it was Christmas.
in 2 days. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, home.
Um, right. Well, there's a bit to dissect, obviously, from a bit of a dramatic week in Riyadh as always. There's always talking points, etc., etc. Um, I mean, the main things I want to talk to you about, obviously, is Tyson's second successive defeat now to Alexander Usyk, and also the fight with Fisher and Allen, which got a lot of attention from the weekend. Um, so, yeah, I mean, let's start with Fisher and Allen first of all. Um, do you know what? If I'm for complete like clarity, I spoke to Big John Fisher um, a few hours ago actually, and
He had it 6 rounds to four to Alan. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, look, I spoke to John. I spoke to John. I speak to John quite regularly, to be fair, and I spent some time with Johnny Fisher yesterday on the Sunday. But yeah, Big John wasn't happy with Talksport and yourself as well, Gareth, about comments about robbery, etc., etc. I've not heard all the comments
Yeah.
about what was said aftermath of um, Fisher's win over Dave Allen, but yeah, Big John weren't happy with some of the stuff that you were saying and like the kind of narrative from Talksport.
It wasn't a narrative. It was description of what we're watching in front of us.
Yeah,
Excuse my eating. I'm sure John won't mind me eating. Um, the It was a disgraceful decision. That's what we said. It was an absolutely disgraceful decision. Johnny was dominant for 4 rounds. Then he got knocked down. It was a 10-8 in the fifth, and from there on in, he was staying in the fight. He was admirable. We praised Johnny Fisher more than anything for staying in the fight. But the correct judge had it 3 rounds to Dave Allen because he old manned him in the second half of that fight. People have got to learn to take the truth about what they're watching in front of them. We'll come on to it in a minute. I had Alexander Usyk winning by a round, on Saturday night. Johnny was very fortunate to get that decision. And if they're so deluded that they think that he won that out hands down, then they're kidding themselves about who he is and what he is in there. He got a favourable decision. He got away with it on Saturday night. We're not taking anything away from the amazing heart and resilience that Johnny Fisher showed and showed what a warrior he is in there. But Dave Allen, in my book, in my judgment, and with my colleagues alongside me, lost that fight. Dave Allen won that fight. That's it. That's all we were saying. And we're just going to say the truth.
yeah. Look, I missed the first 3 rounds of the fight. We were round the back interviewing.
Mm.
I haven't watched the Allen and Fisher fight back, which I will do tonight. I
Well,
know
call
that
me back when you've watched it and we'll go over this.
we can do. No, I'm just going from, like I said to you, I was with Johnny Fisher yesterday, having some food, and then off Big John's conversation I had with him earlier on. He was, yeah, he seemed quite upset, to be honest with you.
Well, of
Uh,
course, because his son was getting beaten up for 5 rounds, 6 rounds. His son got beaten up and he's going to be upset. But, you can't just do bosh when it's all going well. You've got to do bosh when it's not gone so well. He should be happy. His son got the W. It's not, there's nothing mean about it. There's no narrative against the Fishers. But we were unhappy I was certainly unhappy with the scoring. I think I labelled it a disgrace. I don't have to labour the point. You know, I don't understand what the issue is. They should, you know. I'm very surprised that Dave Allen didn't get the results. I'm delighted for Johnny that he keeps in the W column, but I think those two should roll it back, not straight away, because they put on that was a brutal 10-round war, brutal. And what I like about Johnny coming out of it is he showed his resilience, he showed his doggedness, he showed his aptitude for staying in there, which is going to really augur well for him going forward. That's the end of it, you know.
Absolutely. Look, I said to Big John today, I thought it was I didn't think the fight was too soon for Johnny. I think it was a good learning fight for Johnny. What I said to John was that I do feel like because of the knockdown, especially in round 5, you can understand kind of people's perception of who won that fight. Because
no, it wasn't down to the knockdown in round 5. It's what happened in the next 5 rounds.
Gareth, the point I'm trying to make is, and it's happened a lot in boxing, is that if there is a close fight and there is a specific round in that fight, which is a 10-8 round, I do feel like people get swayed by that 10-8 round in a fight if there's one more than if there wasn't. Like there was with the Fury and Usyk first fight. People were convinced
that we've just scored the fight. We don't need to pick the bones over it. If they're not happy with what we say about it, then that's fine. But they've got a phone. They've got my phone. They can ring me. You know, and it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's just a viewpoint. I'll put it plain and simple. Johnny did well to win that fight because I don't think he did. I think Dave Allen won by at least 2 rounds. It's just a point of view. And I made a point of saying to my colleagues, listen, Johnny's done nothing wrong. He's only shown himself. He doesn't jump out. It's as simple as that.
Right, look, I've just been sent a couple of voice notes from Big John Fisher.
Yeah, go on.
And I'm not going to play them, but I just said to him, look, I'll talk to you in a minute. I'm on an interview with Gareth. He wants to jump on. Would you jump on with him?
Of course.
All right, wait there. Let me send a link because, right, I've just sent it to him. Let's see if he comes on. Listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
That's all it is. It's just an opinion about the fight. He's got the W. We thought he didn't. End of.
Right, he's coming on. So, 1 second.
Well, let's talk. Oh, okay.
Don't lose your call, Johnny's just left.
Hello?
For John.
Good, you all right?
Can we get you on the camera, John?
How do I do that, Will? Is that it?
John, can you turn your phone that way, please?
That's John, you've caught me eating.
What did you say?
You've caught me eating.
Got you eating, have I? Good man.
Right, listen, just for some context, obviously I was doing this Zoom with Gareth. I said to Gareth that I'd spoken to you earlier on and you weren't happy with my voice, some of the comments coming from Gareth and also Talk Sport regarding Johnny's win against Dave Allen. Gareth has just been explaining that that was his opinion and he was only saying what he saw and thinks. So I'll leave it to you guys to kind of
bash it out.
No, bash it out. I totally respect anyone's opinion who thought Dave won the fight. But the way you and Spencer went over the top, I thought you were a serious journalist. You showed how incapable you are of actually reporting.
Did Johnny win that fight, John?
Sorry?
Did Johnny win that fight?
He won the fight. Yeah, I watched it back. He won round 1 to 4, round 10, and round 7. You could have called it for Johnny. So for you to say it was a robbery and disgusting,
I said,
Gareth, you was welcome in my house before. You'll never be welcome in my house again because I think you acted like a complete and utter disgrace. All right, and I'll tell you to your face because I'm a man. I'm not holding back. Anyone can say they think Dave won the fight.
Yeah.
Dave's team themselves said it wasn't a robbery, and you're shouting out things like that. I've lost all respect for you. People used to tell me don't respect Gareth Davies. I've said no.
Well, that's fine. Right. That's fine.
Totally lost all respect.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, you go and have your dinner, and we'll get on with the interview. Thanks, John.
Never come and see me again, and
Thank
never
you.
ask for my advice and anything ever again.
I don't need your advice. Thank you
do,
much.
sir. You do, because you have not got a clue. And when I see you, I'll tell you. All right?
That's it. You've told me now.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Bush.
Merry Christmas to you, Gad.
That's it. Okay, well, let's carry on with the interview, because John doesn't want to talk about things. He's just angry.
All right. Well, look, let's move on from that. You've spoken about it. Obviously, he's not happy there. Let's move on.
That's fine, but people are entitled to their view, but have a debate about it. You don't suddenly lose respect for someone because they have a viewpoint. This was the same with Don Charles the other day. Allow people to have a viewpoint. If they feel that the judging is a disgrace, that's fine, but he hasn't walked away with a loss. He's got the win. Do you know what I mean? So what's their problem? They're tired and emotional. I will talk to Johnny, not his dad. I'd rather speak to the fighter himself anyway.
Okay. Well, look, listen, what happens with that, whether there's a rematch, I don't think there'll be a rematch immediately.
Not immediately. No.
I don't think there is, but if that happens further down the line, then it is what it is. But I do feel like both fighters handled the aftermath of that very well.
Brilliantly.
Dave Allen and Johnny Fisher were very honest about how that fight went, etc., etc. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
I agree. Listen, I don't think they should have it again because it was a brutal 10-round war. And as I've already said on several occasions and on TalkSport, which Big John's talking about, the absolute respect to both of them. What a war they created. You don't want to see them doing that 4 times a year. Dave Allen's stock has risen. He old manned Johnny, and that Johnny will have learnt a lot from it. He exposed Johnny's inexperience, and Johnny will learn from it because he's a clever kid, you know, as well as being a tough kid. Listen, John has his feelings and wants to be angry and emotional about it. I don't have an issue. It doesn't denigrate what I do. It's an opinion. And I thought the judging was a disgrace because I thought Dave Allen won that hands down. End of.
Let's move on to Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Tyson Fury believed he won the fight, Gareth, by 3 rounds. This was in the aftermath. Immediately as he walked, we saw that clip of Tyson Fury saying that he felt like he won it by 3 rounds. A lot of mixed opinion. A lot of people I've seen obviously saying that they felt like Usyk had won that fight. There are people thinking that Fury had taken that fight as well. So your comments at the start of this said that you felt like Usyk by a round.
I've got my scores in front of me here because it's worth going through them. Yeah. The judges agreed on 7 of the 12 rounds, yeah? And on 5 of them, they were split. So that's where you get the divide on the 3-round differential, which you go from 6-6, 7-5, 8-4. So, and they've all gone 8-4. But because there were several swing rounds in that fight. Now, I scored the fight 115, 114 to Alexander Usyk. The first round, I scored a 10-10, a draw. Then I gave Fury 2 and 3, Usyk 4, Fury 5, Usyk 6, 7 and 8, Fury 9 and 10, and Usyk 11 and 12. It was 6-5-1 even, and 115, 114. But I'll be honest with you, when I watched the fight back, we are scoring in real time, aren't we? Correct. It was hard to separate them. I found it a very, very close fight. A much closer fight than the first one when it was a split decision. When Fury was obviously optically rocked in the 9th round. I thought there was nothing to separate them. I really wish Fury had won a split decision on this or a split draw or whatever had happened because I feel like there's rounds to go between them still. It was so close. It was a scientific chess match in there, a scientific, physical chess match. And although Usyk got the decision on that 8-4 differential, winning those swing rounds on the judges' cards, I get what Frank's saying. Frank Warren's given his guy the swing rounds. So it's gone the other way. So I feel in the demeanor of Tyson Fury afterwards as well, like he's not finished. You got the feeling that he wants another one, that he maybe wants another one with Usyk. And I wonder when the dust settles, if they go and really reanalyze the fight and it looks a lot closer, like many of us found it, than the judges found it, whether they do it again. Because rounds 13 to 24 were fascinating. Listen, rounds 11 to 20 with Allen and Fisher may be more interesting. Allen may get knocked out. Fisher may get knocked out. You know, hopefully we get a big platter to eat while we're watching it. You know, look, the bottom line is what I was pleased about to come out of it was that Fury felt he won. And I get that because neither of them was really hurt during the fight. They were both brilliant this time around. They danced. Usyk managed to get out of the clinch when Fury, he had that roll out of the clinch and a shot as he rolled out of it. Usyk went to the body more. Fury went to the body. Usyk went to the body. It was a real nip and tuck fight. It was very, very close. So I get Frank Warren and Tyson Fury's disappointment that it was scored eight rounds to 4 by 3 judges. But what they did was they scored the swing rounds, the rounds that were very close to Usyk, because he did smarter things in there. Maybe he threw combinations. He pitter-pattered like he did against Anthony Joshua in the last 3 rounds of their fight, the second fight. People might not like what I'm saying, but Tyson was much improved in this fight. It was so razor tight. I scored it. I did not count as I went. I was scoring for the Telegraph, round by round for the live blog. I did not count it up like the referee, like the judges do. They don't count it up. Sometimes you watch a fight and you think one guy's won, but the other guy gets the decision.
Gareth, I just want to relay some comments that I saw Adam Cattrall make on an Instagram post, and he said that a lot of Fury's punches were getting caught in the elbow and the glove. They weren't clean punches. The work that Usyk was doing was a lot cleaner, and people need to take notice of that, regardless of punch volume. They need to realise that clean punches are what win fights, not punches that are deflected by elbow or glove.
Well, that's fair enough. He's watching it on TV, but we're all watching. The judges are sitting there ringside. We're sitting in row 2, commentating. We're watching it live. We can only see it as we see it. I've not watched it back yet. I only got back 4 hours ago. You know, like you, I travelled via Dubai on the way back. I've been writing and broadcasting and doing all sorts of things since. Everybody's a little bit fractious at the moment, as we can see. I'm extraordinarily tired right now, which is why I probably regret being a bit short with John, because whatever John thinks about me, John Fisher, I love the guy. I think he's amazing. And his family are. So whatever he feels about me for the rest of his life, I couldn't give a monkey's because I like them, and it's as simple as that. End of. But I think people are a bit fractious. I will watch it again in the next couple of days. But the thing is, you only get one chance to judge a fight live, and that's how you do it. But so I was saying, when the dust settles, we may come back to it having a third Usyk Fury fight, because right now there's no obvious fight for Alexander Usyk other than the winner of Joseph Parker, other than the winner of Daniel Dubois. And oh God, I'm only going to upset Don Charles and Daniel Dubois again now. I think he should have let Usyk have his moment and then step in and take the microphone. But look, Daniel's really confident right now. And if Daniel beats Joseph Parker, maybe he should fight Usyk again. And Usyk's up for it. He said that straight away, didn't he? If they want to make it, I'll have it.
Right, okay, listen, I'm going to ask you 2 more things because I know you're tired. I've only just got back off a plane as well. So I spoke to Dillian White yesterday, and like he raised...
What's he angry about at the moment?
No, he's not angry. He's fine, Dillian White. He did say what is quite obvious out there is that why is Daniel Dubois in that kind of mode going into the ring against Usyk after the fight when he has a very tough fight coming up with Joseph Parker? We know Daniel Dubois is aggravated by how that fight in Poland went last week, which is obviously the trigger for all this. But options for just going back to what you said.
You mean last August, not last week? Yeah.
Did I say last week?
Yeah.
I don't know what day of the week it is, to be fair.
No, I know exactly how you
last
feel.
August in Poland. Options for Alexander Usyk, correct? Because in theory, lucratively, financially, there's probably better options for Tyson Fury than there is for Alexander Usyk, despite.
Yeah, look, I get the whole picture you're painting there. Look, for me, there isn't a viable step-in fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua at the moment. In a weird way, Tyson Fury's stock hasn't fallen since his second fight with Alexander Usyk. There's people that believes he won it, that believe he won it. He believes he won it. It was a very, very close fight. It was a much better performance than the first fight. There's enough juice there to have a third, even though Usyk doesn't need to take it if he doesn't want to. Anthony Joshua needs to get back into the win column to light a fire under that fight first. It doesn't work at the moment. It doesn't work with him coming off a 5-round drubbing to Daniel Dubois to then step in against Tyson Fury, who was bigger, heavier, and was very determined for 36 minutes and showed what he's always shown, which is a great mind in the ring as well as a great attitude and aptitude for boxing. I think we need Joshua in the win column first. You mentioned Dillian White. I think that's the fight for him. Have a Dillian White fight. Eradicate Dillian White from your resume. And if not, you get caught by Dillian White. So that renders that null and void. But I think we need some kind of narrative. This is just my view, some kind of narrative with Joshua on the upturn again to be able to step in against Tyson Fury and make it viable and make it work. Right now, it doesn't feel there's any heat under that fight. Do you see what I'm saying? You've muted yourself, Mr. Cassius.
Sorry, Gareth. No, I do totally get what you're saying. I feel like even though it was put out there that from Eddie Hearn especially, despite what happens in this fight, if Tyson Fury was to lose to Usyk, which he has, then that Joshua fight is still there. It feels like now he has lost to him. It feels like both fighters need to probably have a fight rather than go into that fight between them, which is still...
Both of them don't need... No, I don't agree. And people think I'm being a Fury fanboy here. Fury's stock rose in that fight on Saturday night. It rose from his last performance. It was a much better performance. It was so close. It's Joshua that... And I'm not knocking Joshua here. I just think we need it for the narrative. I can't disagree with you either. If you want... Who's Fury going to fight in the meantime, though?
No, I get that, but... The likely situation of Fury coming off the back of an Usyk loss, going straight into a Joshua fight, or Joshua having a fight in between, I think it's either they both have a fight or they just fight each other.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it leaves a conundrum, definitely. It's almost like, what does Usyk do? Does he sit out now? And
Gareth, the point I'm trying to make is Tyson, regardless of whatever, is still coming off the back of 2 losses, right? So it's not a case of, but the big question is, who would Tyson fight in that time, right? I get that. But I feel it's either they both have a fight in between or they just think, fuck it, let's do the fight, Wembley Stadium, like in 6 months or whenever, let's do it.
Yeah, well, that's fine if you think that, but I don't think it works as a narrative because I think Anthony Joshua, I'd like to, yeah, but that's fine if they want to do that. But I just think I'd like to see Anthony Joshua have a fight. But look, we're coming to the end of it. I'll tell you what's really happening. What's really happening, and you can tell this to John Fisher, Johnny Fisher, Dillian White, Derek Chisora, Alexander Usyk, even Daniel Dubois and Tyson Fury. There's a new man on the block, and his name's Moser Tauma. In 18 months, he'll be wiping the floor with all of them.
Well, do you know what? Moses Salman's knockout of Dempsey McKean is one of the cleanest punches, right?
It's
And
a young man's sport, and I think he's showing that. I mean, he's extraordinarily young. Listen, I'm exaggerating him there in a way, but I just think if he can go into the trenches and shows that he's got a really good chin, allied with everything else he's got, then we're going to see a guy who arguably will take over the division, Coogan, in a year and a half. It wouldn't even surprise him if he was a world champion by the end of next year. Daniel Dubois might be his toughest opponent. Usyk might be his trickiest, but he's so cool, calm, and collected that he just shone a spotlight. He may put the whole division on notice on Saturday night, and he's not even 20 till the 28th of December. And if people think I'm exaggerating, he's got so much potential to I mean, we need to see him under pressure and stretched. We thought Dempsey McKean might do it. There's talk about him fighting Filip Hrgovic next, which is Filip Hrgovic, which is a great opponent for him, frankly. And if he can live with him, if he can live with Jarrell Miller and these big, strong guys that can go many rounds with very good heavyweights, then we're on to a winner there. I'm going to send it to Johnny Fisher in a minute anyway and get him to calm down.
Right, Gareth, I've got to go. But listen, I do appreciate your time as always. Good to see you in Saudi. I do hope you have a Merry Christmas.
You too, my brother. Yeah.
Happy New Year. We'll definitely catch up after the New Year.
Yeah.
And look, tensions are maybe high off the back of the week.
They are running high. Enjoy the fam, man. Peace out. Peace and goodwill to all men and women.
Top man. Thank you very much, Gareth Davies.